Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Adele. I'm in the business of helping people get unstuck, heal and thrive in life, and I absolutely love doing this. I've been looking for a big mug. At some point I got this one, which is pretty big but not as big. Then I spotted this one. It's unique shape. I like the inscription, so still not as big. Last summer in a bookshop, finally I spotted one that I thought is big enough. Here's what it says here: made to worship. And then on the other side, there is actually a verse from a psalm, Psalm 100. Oh, I'm here today to talk about a very curious observation that I've made. It seems to me like the field of psychology has come full circle, if not even the field of science, I would say. It's come full circle back to what has always been known and practiced in the humankind history in terms of self-regulating emotionally, spiritually, physically, back to the roots of healing, which were rooted in practices that have to do with spirituality. Here's what I mean. In the past, people would go to a priest or a healer or someone that was able to deal with a spiritual life. And this is how they would find relief. Now, more and more now you see going back to spirituality and incorporating that in the therapeutic practice, the psychotherapeutic practice, and so linking it to the medical. And it's no surprise. I'm gonna give you an example that will best illustrate it, and then I'm gonna link it to the science, the breakthroughs that have happened in the last 5 to 10 years. So, looking at the collection of Psalms, of the ancient collection of Psalms in the Bible, I see a very interesting thing. Psalms generally are songs. Yeah, they were like songs in which a lot of the time people were pouring out their hearts, sharing their pain, sharing the horrible places in which they find themselves, the difficulties through which they were going. Also sharing about their enemies and the feelings that they feel and what they would do to these people. And then they would call out to God, call out to someone out there, someone divine, transcending basically their state and calling out to something out there greater than themselves, and asking for help, and also opening up in praise and joy and gratitude and thankfulness for what will be and for what there is and for what has happened in their life so far. That is a very interesting thing, and here is why. Lately, one of the amazing things that have been observed, and studies have been done on this as well, and it is more and more incorporated into the psychotherapy, and it's the following: the position of your body will determine the state in which you find yourself emotionally. So if you are hunched like this in a position of depression and terror, then you will not be able to break out of it. You will feel that the down state. And the opposite is also true. If you open up, if you lift up your hands like that, then try to be depressed in this position. Actually, studies have shown that it's impossible to be depressed in this position. And look at this. Where do you see these positions happening? In all the worship, in churches, in worship to God with singing and dancing. You see this in dancing. You see this at concerts where people just lift their arms and just wave, and there is this joy and there is this state of feeling good and feeling okay and feeling like everything is okay, it's gonna be okay. Depression, it's gone. Anxiety is down. Fear is gone. You feel like you are in control, and we humans are able to calibrate our states this way. And then you have yoga practices, a very ancient practice that taps into the same source of physiology, changing your inner state. And that has been noticed more and more. You hear Bessel van der Kolk, which is a great researcher and author in the fields of trauma and somatic experiences, and how that affects us and how that can change the psychology and bring healing. And then that, even that, his writing is based on research and writings of the previous authors. So look at David. Basically, if we go back to this psalm, look at David. What he did is he spoke out what he was feeling, which again in the talk therapies is used a lot. He worked it out in his mind, he spilled it out, he poured out his heart, how he feels about that, how he feels towards others, how he feels towards God, even how he feels towards himself. And then he used his body to change his state, basically. And this is something, again, that anyone can do, and it's available to everyone. You don't need even to spend money on it. You don't need to go to therapy. So if you find yourself in a state like that in the pandemic at home, music, the sound has also a healing effect. Humming and singing has also a calming effect because of the way it engages the vagus nerve, which regulates a lot of our internal states, the autonomic nervous system. So that is something quite amazing. That's why I say that psychology and even science is coming full circle, coming back to what people somehow knew from ages ago without necessarily having all the technology we have, the brain imaging that has been such a breakthrough in neuroscience. Now there is a lot of research going on and a lot of inquiry in understanding how conscious evolves, how our consciousness evolves. But since consciousness and our thinking it's not part of the concrete reality, although it modifies the concrete reality, it might not yield to the scientific model of research. However, it is something that has caught up with the science, those at the helm of advancement and technology. So I hope you find that useful. It certainly informs me in my work, and it's been helpful to me. It helped me understand what helped me survive through some of the most difficult times. And then it also helped me understand why other times I've been slumping down, having had a hard time climbing back up. Why? Maybe it's time to implement some of the practices in our lives that have been long forgotten, that have been dismissed as unnecessary, trivial. Maybe it's time to bring it back and use it to be more alive and present every moment of our lives, because you live only when you are fully alive. Maybe we were made to worship after all. Maybe that is an indispensable part of the quality of our lives. Sometimes what we need doesn't require much effort, doesn't require a lot of things that we think we need to feel better, to feel happy. So thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe, take care, and enjoy your life.